Coming to you from the Ultra Staff Studios in Chicago, welcome to the Staffing Buzz Network with your host, Bob Petke. Hello, everybody. I'm Bob Petke, and welcome back to the Staffing Buzz Network. I am your host of the Staffing Buzz Network here. I'm also the Chief Sales Officer for ABD, Automated Business Designs, our software, ATS, CRM. It's a full service solution. It's called Ultra Staff Edge. And we're coming up on 2 years into the podcast here, the Staffing Buzz Network. And for those of you that continue to join us, welcome back. And for those of you who are watching us for the first time, don't forget to hit subscribe. I was looking at that intro that we do. Jennifer, we might have to do a new one because my hair was a little darker 2 years ago than it was now. So, we got to kind of keep it up, and maybe we'll do something fun with that. So be on the lookout for maybe a new intro here in one of the up and coming episodes. We don't have anything planned yet, so when you know, you know. So with that said, yes, like I said, Bob Petke, host of the Staffing Buzz Network, also your Chief Sales Officer here at ABD, Automated Business Designs. Listen, we've got one heck of a system. It's we're a company 43 years in the making, going on our 43rd year. And we've got one heck of an ATS CRM, all one-stop shop for your front office and back office, one database, not having to worry about doing double entry and things like that. If that's something that you're looking for, you can reach out to me. We'll include some information on that as we kind of go out. But hey, today's session is really a very fun session. I'm excited to have Doug Kloos on from JobRobotix. I'm going to give you a little information on Doug as he comes to screen here. So Doug, he's a seasoned IT and software leader with nearly 3 years of experience shaping technology solutions and driving innovation. He holds degrees in both meteorology, which I did not know. I've known Doug for a little while now. And then he also is the IT, the information technology. Doug is a proud U.S. Air Force veteran, where he served that's where that meteorologist comes in, for the United States Air Force Air Combat Command. And he did, including some support in combat operations during the Operation Desert Shield. Doug making his way at that time. After serving in the military, he began his IT career in technical sales, designing and implementing business solutions at Compact. He did several more things along the way. And then really, since 2016, Doug has served as the co-founder and the head of sales at JobRobotix, where he has driven both product design and go-to-market technology and strategy. Under his leadership, JobRobotix has become, in our world, in our staffing world, JobRobotix has become the industry-leading VMS to ATS integration platform, offering more than 160 out-of-the-box VMS and MSP integrations and pioneering the first AI, you heard it again, we hear it almost on podcast now, the first AI-driven business rules and data platform in staffing. Now, JobRobotix, the company, continues to set the standard for innovation, and most recently introducing candidate submission through automation. Hopefully we'll hear something about that because, I got a lot of people that have been asking me, what kind of technologies out there where can do some automation without me having to do a whole lot. Let's see what Doug has to say about that. In 2024, just last year, JobRobotix delivered over 1.6 million labor hours in savings to its staffing agency customers. So with that said, Doug Kloos, I'd like to welcome you to the Staffing Buzz Network. How are you, my friend?
I am doing great, and thanks so much for that wonderful introduction. Bringing back a lot of memories thinking about that as you kind of recounted some of our journey here. But always a pleasure to meet with you. And again, Bob, and of course, this is I think, a first official appearance on the Staffing Buzz Network. So really excited to be on the podcast today and talk a lot about what we've been doing at JobRobotix and the journey, and really just kind of educate people about what VMS automation is and how it can benefit their staffing companies.
Well, Doug, I got to tell you, after being on the Staffing Buzz Network, you might want to. I know you're going to go to the Staffing World in Orlando, October. What is it? 5, 6, 7. You might want to bring the 8x10 Glossies and a Sharpie because people are going to be hounding you for your autograph after a membership, or not a membership, an appearance here on the Staffing Buzz Network. So don't say you weren't warned.
Yeah, I'll remember those. I think I've got some new AI generated headshots that I just got, so I'll bring a
Even
stack of
yeah,
those.
yeah. See if you could set something up like that for me. I could use some AI for this headshot for sure. So, Doug, let's talk a little bit. Let's dive right into some things here. Went through your bio. You and I have had many conversations. You've got a very fascinating, very unique career journey. Meteorology in the Air Force. You did some things with technology at IBM. I know that you did a transaction where I believe that you maybe had. What did you do? You basically sold off to IBM. Is that the quickest way to say that?
Yeah, so one of my prior startups to JobRobotix was a company called mTaurus. And that's probably how I first got introduced to kind of staffing or supply chain or even VMS.
Okay.
mTaurus was a technology startup that was on the supplier, or I'm sorry, excuse me, the buyer side of staffing software, well, both staffing and supply chain software. Contingent labor was a piece of that, but they were really innovative around kind of building a complete solution. So some of your folks who may be familiar with staffing solutions like Coupa or Ariba, we were in the thick of it back when those were coming on the scene, and really we were kind of some of the first developers of what I would call early data enrichment, where the solution had brought in third-party information that you would think on the web as part of your risk analysis, as well as kind of a staffing piece. And what I was really focused on was the telecom expense management piece of buying. And so we worked with a lot of Fortune 100 companies to roll that out, and we were very fortunate at the time. We were in the market around 2011 when the industry was changing, going through a paradigm shift around what I would call kind of the Internet of Things and data usage. And we were really, it was the right opportunity, the right product, and the right customer base. And we did this deal with IBM to acquire us. And then I had a great spent 3 years at IBM working with them, learning about product design, and ahead of the JobRobotix founding. So it was really an incredible journey, learned a lot, had some great technology leaders that I work with, and really prepared me as a co-founder, I would say.
Yeah. A little bit of this is your life, right, Doug? Because yeah, there's a journey that you've taken that's led you to this space and place with JobRobotix as the co-founder. Obviously you've got that entrepreneur heart, spirit. I mean, you're an entrepreneur, right? Let's just call it what it is. Um, as you're trying to form something new, like you talked about co-founding JobRobotix, and again, entrepreneurs are always looking for a way to do something that maybe it hasn't been done before, or maybe there's a problem. Maybe now we're talking specifically about staffing. What type of a problem, or in staffing in particular, what was it that when you started with JobRobotix and you had kind of your mission, what were you aiming to solve?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. The time around this was around 2015. So at that time, just I'll give you a little background. I know I had the benefit of working with IBM and the Watson team. For those who aren't familiar with Watson, Watson was the computer system that played Jeopardy and won. And IBM was really an early pioneer of AI. So that really kind of sparked my interest around data and how machine learning was evolving to solve problems. A good friend of mine I had worked with over a number of years in software design had been in contingent staffing. I knew nothing really about contingent staffing at that time. And we had discussed, and he had showed me a prototype for a product he had called Jobber, which essentially was what it was doing for agencies or solving. It was solving the data entry piece of it. It was a very basic piece of software, but it filled a key problem, which was removing agencies having to type in orders into technology systems. And automation has always been data automation, or especially data entry, is one of those areas where for staffing companies, I don't want to, it's critical work, but it's low value work to have somebody doing that. Meaning, usually, if we can take staffing employees, recruiters, and move them onto relational or other higher value work, it's a benefit. So when we first started, we were really just kind of focused on, hey, how do we remove these barriers for staffing companies to get data out of systems? And this was our first kind of journey when we built the prototype of it. What that I learned really very quickly in the first year of JobRobotix is how disconnected vendor management systems or technology systems that staffing companies use and their clients use are hard to get data out of. And not only that, if you get the data, is the data really the type of data that you need to put into your ATS system? There may be
Right.
some translations. So really kind of we were focused on how do we remove those barriers? How do we make a product that's easy? And is there a market for it? And we found out very quickly there was that hundreds of staffing companies were having this challenge. VMS was growing, especially in the healthcare space, where you had more companies moving to a managed service provider model. And so that kind of fueled the need for technology solutions to connect to ATS software like ABD UltraStaff. And we just hit the ground running, and we're fearless. And I kind of take the mantra of fail fast, and we weren't afraid to fail fast and really build stuff quickly. So
Got it. And part of what you're trying to do, obviously, you quickly discovered there was a marketplace for you, right? You said it yourself. But part of what you're trying to do with this is have some type of a value. So for staffing owners out there that they might not know who JobRobotix is. If you're on an elevator with somebody, they call it the old time elevator pitch, right, brother? What would the elevator pitch look like or sound like when it comes to JobRobotix, and why does it matter to staffing industries?
Well, I think what I would say, kind of in a very basic form, JobRobotix is a software as a service tool that allows you to automate the flow of job data and other types of data from the tools that your clients use, which could be VMS, could be other software solutions. We do have some clients where we do direct, into whatever recruitment or ATS software that you're using, where your team lives. And while primarily it's applicant tracking systems like ABD, we, by automating this flow of data, save you labor. So you don't have to commit team members to do that. We reduce data entry errors because humans are humans, and where automation is great for repetitive tasks like data automation, and really help you move faster so that you get a competitive edge. Folks who've been in staffing know that the first few hours that a job comes out from a client that you get the opportunity are the most critical in trying to fill that. In fact, there's studies from ASA and SIA on conversion rates of placements, right? We see that within that first 4 hours or first day, much higher conversion rates for agencies. So really having JobRobotix gives you that competitive edge around speed. Plus you get the benefit of our investment in data normalization, which I won't go into too detail here, but I think when we talk about AI, but really just perfecting that data and fixing errors when they come up with the data.
Doug, as you're talking, two movie quotes come to mind based on this conversation here. I'm gonna give you a quote. Tell me if you know the movie. You didn't know you were gonna do this. There's been no rehearsal here, but I have the need for speed. Do you know the movie?
Oh, easily. That's Top Gun.
Top Gun. Ding, 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 ding. Doug Kloos with one. All right. And then I got another one. We kind of talked about this movie offline. I just gave you a clue. Son of a gun. If you're not first, you're last.
Oh, that is Ricky Bobby in Talladega Nights, one of my favorites.
Yeah. And what was his sidekick's name?
His sidekick's name was Cal Naughton Jr.
Man, I'm
Yeah,
glad you
I had
got
a
it
cat
right.
named Cal Naughton Jr., believe it or not.
You what?
Yeah, we named, my wife is a huge animal advocate, and we had rescued some cats, some feral cats from our office park, and we named one of them Cal Naughton Jr. Yeah.
All
So,
right. In the last one there, what was their combo team name?
oh, combo team name?
Yeah, what they call themselves. They refer to themselves as something there.
Uh, oh,
Bring it.
gosh, I know Magic Man. That was the old one. I know Shake and Bake,
There
but
it is, buddy.
Shake and Bake, got it. Yeah.
Shake and Bake. JobRobotix official sponsor of Shake and Bake. No, that's not
No.
true. That's not true. But yeah, and again, those two questions really, I mean, the movies, it's about time, right?
Yeah.
Time kills deals, time kills opportunities. You cannot put a cost on time, but you sure pay a price when you don't respond in time. And so again, just another example of how business has kind of evolved, and really you get into the crux of the matter, and being able to provide an opportunity to get those jobs filled quicker, and even more efficiently and effectively, right? Um, Next question for you, Doug, is like, for agencies, you know, we've got people that are on Ultra Staff Edge right now. You know, talk about, like, say somebody's like, okay, I'm on Ultra Staff Edge, and we've got this partnership. What does the process look like if they're like, I want to bring on, that layer of that VMS, that MSP. What does that look like to be able to integrate with the JobRobotix automation?
Well, first of all, I think we've tried to um, focus on usability and turnkey integration. One of the things I learned at IBM was really they taught me about design and usability. So when we kind of think about the integration with ABD, one of the first things we wanted to do, it should be simple for customers. So when we go to implement a customer, really it involves three steps. It involves us connecting to ABD, and of course we have this partnership. So we've made that very easy to provision. Your account team can turn that feature on from JobRobotix to generate that connection for us. We then create an application account in JobRobotix, and really then you meet with our team to talk about your pain points and what you really want JobRobotix to solve. I'm very much a believer in aligning on success early, and at JobRobotix we're focused on our projects. Really, we always start our implementations with what does success look like when we finish this project. We have a very well-defined playbook that was going to walk us through and talk about any blind spots. And then our team's going to really, once they understand what success looks like and what your goals are, we're then going to bring in that VMS data and configure that solution, not only to get the jobs into UltraStaff quickly, but also think about how you operationalize that data. So while everybody always is focused on getting data quickly and accurately, there's always that element of your processes might be slightly different. And as you know, Bob, like the customization and ABD on how you implement clients and the features, that varies between your customers as well. So we want to make sure that when we implement it, it's really going to fit how you're using ABD. To kind of wrap it up, speed is the other piece of it. For most customers, when we go through this process of implementation, we can get it done in 4 weeks. So we want most customers, they're going to see within a week, we get that connection up and running, that data flow, and then we're going to spend a couple more weeks just refining it, setting up business logic, layering in AI. And within a month, you can be live on JobRobotix and really see that ROI and that benefit.
Doug, I can tell you, somebody who's in staffing for almost 20 years now on this side of the fence, right? That there are some old timers, or maybe that's not the right choice of the word. Maybe we could edit that out. I'm not worried about it. there's some people that have been doing this for a long time, and change, you know, innovation, it's a great word. It's good. AI and staffing, good stuff. But you know, as being somebody who's, you know, pioneering candidate submissions with automation, you know, how does this change that traditional recruiting flow that so many, you know, long timers are used to, those Cajun seasoned savvy veterans in staffing? You know, how has this changed the traditional workflow, and what are some benefits that staffing companies can expect from making this shift in the paradigm here?
Well, I always think about it first is staffing is really a relationship business, right? So when we think about processes, um, most companies they want to focus on the relationship side. Again, what they do well, building that. What our goal is at Job Robotics, and when we talk about AI and automation, it's really about multiplying uh, throughput of what you can do. So it's empowering your recruiters to get X more percentage of efficiency or capacity in their day. And when we think about submission or data entry or even matching candidates or how you communicate, really these tools are to take tasks that take recruiters away from the relational side of it, empower them so that they can be drive more capacity for the business. Um, Submission is the same way, right? We know today, and we've done time studies. Most agencies they're going to spend in terms of labor and time about $4.31 per submission. Like we've broken down kind of the time component and cost. Um, think about that. If you could double that, double the number of submissions you're doing, as well as eliminate that cost. And so our goal really is to take submission to a point and click. So today we know from submission, it could involve building candidate profile data in the vendor system, answering questions, putting together a cover sheet, uploading documents. We are really using JobRobotix to handle the flow of that and our workflow engine to drive to make sure that the information in ABD can be transferred into the VMS through a button and click. And so that's what we're building towards. And then we're also looking at it not only from API, which is kind of the traditional, but using RPA automation. So one of our goals where we're innovating is going back now that we have AI and using robotic process automation. So if we can't directly integrate through an API with a VMS, can we automate the form fill in such a way with the user sets it up once, and then again they can click a button in their browser and the system will just fire up and transfer the data between the two systems using JobRobotix's workflow engine.
Doug, I think I'm going to crown you acronym king of the day:
Oh,
VMS, API, MSP. You said something else.
oh, sorry. Yeah. So forgive my my technology side from coming out. So of course, API, we're talking about application programming interface, or the way we can talk to a VMS through its native connection,
Okay.
programmatic connection. And MSP, of course, we're just talking about master service provider who owns the contract with the client that the affiliated staffing companies or the suppliers who are ABD users um, are connecting through that program.
Yeah. No, and thanks for that clarification again. And you know, there's so many acronyms in our industry as it is, and so I think that somewhere along the way, if people were listening this long, I'm sure that they appreciated that input from you. So awesome. Thanks for that. You know, let's talk about the future. Let's talk about, where do you see like a job robotics and staffing automation and AI heading over the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, this is a great question because I was talking to some of my peers. So I've had the pleasure of building relationships with probably over 300 staffing company leaders over the past 10 years, and
Awesome.
understanding and um, one of the other things I don't really talk much about in my career is I've had the benefit of seeing about 4 different paradigm shifts happen in IT technology, and I won't enumerate all of them, but I think we're in a transformative period right now in both not only staffing but IT in general.
Sure.
AI, I think every one of the agency leaders that I talk to today their team is using AI in some form, whether it's just Chat GPT or they're leveraging an ATS like UltraStaff Edge, and they're driving more or building more AI type agent work to do things like send emails, match candidates, that type of thing. Um, what I really think is, we saw kind of in the industry a move towards offshoring for cost.
Yeah.
AI really represents an opportunity to re-onshore um, tasks and labor. I think AI is only going to get better, and companies are going to be able to bring more work back onshore, where they are going to remove that burden of having to find high quality offshore resources. They're going to gain greater control onshore by using AI, and over time, they're going to be able to take more complex tasks, and as AI improves. And that's really going to, I think, going to be a shift. Now, how JobRobotix, I see that as being a part of it in the future, is we're going to build tighter ATS partnerships. While we have historically kind of focused on this idea of being a VMS integration platform,
Sure.
the framework and the kind of the engine behind JobRobotix, we really built this great foundation for automation. And I see that as becoming JobRobotix evolving in a role in what I would call a staffing platform automation as a service solution. And we will kind of expand as we build more AI agents into our product, and we'll partner with the ATSs, because I think the ATSs, they want to focus on like ABD, on the features that are important to their customers, and then rely on a partner like JobRobotix to fill in those gaps. And one area that I'm really excited as we think about is time collection and automation, which traditionally is another problem staffing companies have today around
Yes.
automation.
Yes.
And that's an area where the advances in AI over the last year now really give companies like JobRobotix a great tool set to go back and look at that problem, where we can automate time harvesting, time matching, invoice auditing and reconciliation. So what we bill versus what we get paid. And really, I see that as kind of a near-term opportunity that AI is going to bring us to go ahead and move into other areas where JobRobotix traditionally hasn't focused on VMS. The other one I'll just add really quickly is when we think about JobRobotix today, it's really about top of funnel automation. So that's about job publication, helping agencies get data into their ATS for candidate matching and lead generation. But then there's all this work activity that happens, what we call pre-start. So you've placed somebody with one of your clients, and they're getting ready to start that work. And how can we leverage AI or automation to get data and handle some of that back and forth updates that need to happen within the client's VMS software tool before that candidate shows up for their first day of work.
Okay. So, Doug, here's the thing. We're like, a little over 28 minutes into this. Time flies when you're having fun, right?
Yeah.
Um, if a staffing agency owner is listening and they've gotten this far and they want to explore job robotics, learn more, maybe, go in that direction, what's the best first step they should take?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think first of all, you can reach out to us directly. So you can email sales@jobrobotics.com, or myself, Doug@jobrobotics.com. Visit our website, lots of content there. If you look me up on LinkedIn, I occasionally blog post and share information about what JobRobotix is doing. And also talk to your team at ABD. We've got a great partnership there. They can arrange an introduction, share
Be glad to. Be
information,
glad to. Yes.
and we can get you connected and get you information as much as you want or as little as you want. But
And what
would
about
love.
people going to the American Staffing Association Staffing World? Are you going to be there? Where are you going to be? Talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Oh,
this is
nice.
going to be our 5th year at Staffing World. So we will be at booth 1318 at Staffing World.
Yeah, it's on the
The
scroll. Look at that.
Yeah.
Jennifer, good job. I like that.
Um,
Little automation, little
yep.
AI.
In Orlando, Florida, at the Gaylord Palms. Orlando is one of my wife's favorite destinations, close to the gates of Disney. So we will be there at booth 1318. So folks, if you're going there, we'll just look for the ASA Cares area. We'll be right over there. And pleasure to meet you at the show and have a conversation, maybe get some tchotchkes, and really just tell you about how VMS automation can really help your staffing company.
I'm trying to think of, you had an honorary member at one of these shows. I forget, you Bones, Jethro's. I forget what his name was.
Oh, yes, yeah. So one of our mascots last year, we brought along for some fun, our skeleton crew, as we called him.
Okay.
And yeah,
I guess I
gosh,
just
I
made
can't
I guess
remember
I
his
made
name
that
we
name.
used. Yeah,
I guess I made that name Jethro up out of thin air.
it might have been Jethro. I don't know. We were in Nashville last year, so I think we were embracing the whole country music thing. But yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
so but we'll have something fun this year. Our official mascot, if you ever see him, is Jobby the robot. I think I've got a little image of him here, but you'll see kind of our little robot logo. Um, and
You want a Jobby the robot.
but he's our unofficial robot. We like to describe the tools we use to automate it, called JobBots. So he's our official mascot.
I'll tell you what, Doug, JobRobotix, great name. Even it's what's in a name, everything, but at the same time, it's really it's the deliverables that you have through it, and I think that's what's put you on the map. You are a rock solid, rock steady partner of ours, and we're just so glad to have this relationship. And for folks that are listening in, yeah, reach out to Doug. He's giving you his information. You can reach out to me, bob@abd.net, bob@abd.net. You can go to our website, abd.net as well. A lot of .nets going on there. Doug, it's a pleasure to have you on. I look forward to seeing you in a few weeks. And I'll stop by and say hi. Maybe we'll get you on a little quick interview while we're there. That'd be fantastic. Any parting words for the listeners before we go here?
Well, just again, thank you, Bob, for the opportunity to be on here. I think the only thing I would probably tell folks is, embrace AI. I think it's coming,
Yeah.
and I think there's opportunities for everybody to really transform their business. I don't think I want to say that lightly as a term, but it's. I really think we are in a unique time in transformation of staffing right now. So, and I love talking about it. So if you do see me at the show and you want to tell me about what you're doing in AI or pick my brain, would love to have a conversation with you about it.
You're a good man, Doug. Glad to have you on. I look forward to seeing you soon. And thanks for being here.
Thanks again, Bob. Bye-bye now.
Thanks. Doug Kloos, JobRobotix co-founder, meteorologist, doesn't have anything to do with what he's doing with JobRobotix. I don't care. Smart guy, putting companies like yours in a position to attack that market as an MSP or participating through the VMS, doing things that you weren't able to do before, being able to scale your business, being able to use some of that AI technology. Doug said it, I'll say it, embrace AI. It is here. It is changing the world as we know it. Again, we're in a people person business in staffing, so that's not going to change. But at the end of the day, if you can do something by utilizing technology to better equip your business and make you more well-rounded, get those jobs filled a little bit quicker than the competition, and increasing your retention rate, these are all the things that you should be looking for when you're partnering with a company like JobRobotix or in turn with a company like ours. So again, I'm Bob Petke. Please make sure that if you haven't done so already, subscribe. Hit the subscribe button on the platform that you're watching us or listening to on. If you want to connect with me over anything we've talked about or just learn more about who we are as an organization, bob@abd.net, bob@abd.net. Go to our website, abd.net, and love to tell you a little bit more about our UltraStaff Edge, our ATS, our CRM, the front and back office, the whole thing. So with that said, everybody, thanks for listening. We're glad that you're here. And for those of you we're going to see you soon at the Staffing World, we'll see you then. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining us on the Staffing Buzz Network.